We are into the second half of this abbreviated season here in the Major League in the SSL. And what a season it is turning out to be. A very fierce battle at both ends of this table. It's all to play for in these last 5 match days. Hello everyone, I am Metafiction, and we have some real exciting matches for you today. Starting off with Leafy Side Celtic versus CD Tenochtitlan. Then, of course, we have União Sao Paulo against Shanghai Dragons, the current league leaders. And lastly, Hollywood against Reykjavik United, who are currently dead last in Major League Division 1. Certainly the sort of position they never would have dreamed to find themselves. Nevertheless, they are indeed last out of 6. They'll be looking to try and get at least a point or two to try and climb back up the table. But Hollywood will have other plans as they hope to try and catch up with the top of the table, but that'll be later on. Right now we go to our first match in Ireland, where Leafyside Celtic, as I said, take on CD Tenochtitlan. Aside from Mexico City, as you can see, in not the best form. Whereas Celtic, there you see, tied on points with Shanghai Dragons. Only goal difference, proving the difference between the two teams. Celtic will be looking to try and claim the league lead outright after today's matches. And of course, need to be hoping that Shanghai drop points in their match in just a moment, but as for Celtic, all they can do is try to defeat Tenochtitlan. Elliott sending the cross in. It's sent away by McTendy. De Silva, though, trying again. Cross again. Roger heading that behind. But it seems to have taken a deflection off a Celtic player, and it will be a corner kick. Caetano to deliver for Tenochtitlan. Out to Bloodflame, who sends it back. Dybala with the timely interception there to break up that move for Celtic. All the way back to Bruere Estrangin. Caetano now. Elliott takes a touch through the Bloodflame, and that's just about tipped over by Lax. Elliott to deliver on the corner. That's up into the air, courtesy of Miedema, and that move will fizzle out. Now it's Celtic's turn. Dybala taking a touch, trying to get around Elliott. Padrillo with a long-range shot, and that clanged off the frame of the goal. Came very close to being an incredible goal of the season contender, but ultimately not to be. Now the match settles into a little bit more of a rhythm here. We kick to Tenochtitlan, and that shot from Bloodflame not quite on target. Another attack for Tenochtitlan, rebuffed all the way out to Tonto Tut. Caetano to De Silva. McTendy in pursuit. Silva into Tut. Caetano works it in to Elliott and forces the save out of Snorlax. So another corner incoming for Tenochtitlan. Caetano sends it in, McTendy heads away. And Dybala, once again, putting it out of danger. Tut from the throw-in. Armaros, blocked by Ball, but it's crossed back in by Elliott. Close range header by Roger. And Tenochtitlan with a huge 1-0 lead. This could be the shot in the arm their title challenge needed. Well, it's a great cross here by Elliott, and Roger jumping above Super Hoops and Nosworthy to get to that one. Some excellent aerial ability makes it 0-1. Tenochtitlan with the lead here in Ireland. Super Hoops getting under the loose ball off the kickoff. Worked in the middle. Hughes Galloway lays it off, and Ball forces the save out of Ball. Try saying that 5 times fast. Kika Ball with the corner. Sends it near post, up in the air. McTendy out to Pedrillo. Hughes Galloway, and another save out of Calvin Ball. Corner attempt here. McTendy again, and this time Calvin Ball able to claim it out of the air. Long ball forward to Takahashi. Cross. Dangerous for Dybala. And that's another corner. And that one's headed back out. Kick a ball into the middle and sent away. Pedrillo. Now Dybala. Through ball to Hughes Galloway. Hughes Galloway with a dangerous chance. And Orla Hughes Galloway, if VAR allows it, has just leveled it for Celtic. And it will stand 1-1 the score. Pedrillo with a great touch to Dybala. Dybala timing that through ball absolutely immaculately. And a great finish by Hughes Galloway. Let's look at this again. And there you see just onside. Hughes Galloway aided by the run from Miedema to try and draw the defender off. And Celtic had been pushing for that goal, and now they have it. Shot through to Bloodflame, and that's over. Some very near misses for Tenochtitlan. Only the one goal so far. Hughes Galloway tries to cross in, but nobody home. Elliott runs past Miedema, passes past Ball, and now Bloodflame with a great touch past Nosworthy. Bloodflame, dangerous chance. Took a deflection and tipped over by Lax. That's a great move up the far wing on the counter for Tenochtitlan. Now Elliott sends in the corner, and that's headed over by Pinkman. It was an incredible sequence to get the ball back into a threatening position, but ultimately came to nothing. Now Celtic trying to get another one before the break. Here's Super Hoops to the cross in. Miedema looked like was tripped up, but nothing doing on the foul. And now here come Tenochtitlan. Rogers sending it back. Bruera Strangin, now Tut. Tenochtitlan wary of overcommitting here, but that pass poor. Pedrillo intercepts. But it's still with Tenochtitlan off the header. Ball lands with Hannibal Armaros. Pass forward to Bloodflame, who was offside. Tut with the interception. Now Bloodflame. Caetano. Armaros with the through ball. Armaros blocked. And Kika Ball able to stop that, but at the cost of a corner kick. Caetano sends it near post. Headed away. Bloodflame back to it. And so just before halftime, it's Elliott with the deep throw. Kanto Tut takes the shot, and that's off of Super Hoops. Caetano heads in. Roger, the goal scorer for Tenochtitlan, loses out to McTenny, and that's going to be it for the first half. Tenochtitlan sees the advantage, going up 1-0. But Celtic able to hang tough, and only a few minutes later scored the equalizer. Roger and Orla Hughes Galloway, the goal scorers, respectively. It is 1-1 at the break. You have to say, it has been largely Tenochtitlan's game. Celtic haven't really had a good chance, as you can see there in the upper left, since the goal. Tenochtitlan, meanwhile, still piling on the pressure. trying to get back ahead. Whether they can or not, we'll have to see in this second half. But the stats would suggest that they have been offering a significant amount. Kel Varnson coming on for Celtic, replacing Takeda Takahashi as we get set for this second half. Nosworthy to Ball. Staying into Super Hoops. Super Hoops crosses, and Hughes Galloway nearly got a foot on that for a second goal. Ball now with the corner. Sends it near post, headed up into the air. Nosworthy trying to put it back in play, but Ball clings onto it. Long ball, nearly finding its way through, but cleaned up by Celtic. And now here comes Super Hoops, making that run up the far side. Lifts the cross, Ball mishandles it, but does manage to scoop it back up. A heart-and-mouth moment there for Tenochtitlan, but ultimately able to regain control there. De Silva, up the far sideline. Cross goes in, and that's headed over. On either side offering much in the early stages of this second half. Score still knotted at 1-1. You can tell this is the sort of match where one moment of quality could tip it either way. Armaros. Great pass to Elliott, who finds Roger here. Gets around Super Hoops to De Silva behind the back line, and Sandro De Silva puts Tenochtitlan back in the lead. Well, that move started from deep. That great pass by Armaros, finding Elliott, and then Roger and De Silva linking up. Sends it flying past that lanky frame of Snorlax, and it is Leafy side Celtic 1, CD Tenochtitlan 2. Now can Celtic get their own back again? Hughes Galloway loses out to Pinkman. Tonto Tut, who seems to have picked up a knock here, still playing on though. Some patient possession by Tenochtitlan. Now that they've regained the lead, they don't want to get careless with possession. That ball forward to Roger. Bloodflame, now Patterson. Through ball to Roger, making a great run, and Roger immediately making it 3-1. A second goal for Roger, and that might have put Tenochtitlan ahead for good. Roger started that move so well, passing it off to Bloodflame and then making the run, just completely getting free of all of the defense, and a really well-struck effort there. Celtic sends the header in, but it's punted away. Trying again, are Celtic. Now in a real hole here. Barnson heads into Miedema, but it's headed back behind by Bruera Strongin. Kika Ball desperate to try and get something accomplished here. Sent in, and Nick Tendy with the header at the near post, but Ball holds on. Less than 10 to go, and Tenochtitlan have pulled away here. Elliott will send in the corner kick. And that's headed in with authority by Cesar Pinkman. And that might be this match done and dusted. What a corner kick, and what a header. Some real velocity behind that set piece, behind that finish. And it is Celtic 1, Tenochtitlan 4, with less than 10 to play. Super Hoops trying to carry forward, but Roger with a great challenge to break up the move. Stain trying again. Roger still in pursuit. Has to hit it back to Pedrillo, who takes that shot. And I admire the chutzpah on there, but didn't quite have what it takes. Hannibal Armaros will come off injured here for Tenochtitlan. The super sub taking their place. It's a big loss for Tenochtitlan, but at this stage in the match, they'll be hoping won't affect the outcome too much, given the margin. Barrera Strangine forward to De Silva, who gets around Stain. Sends the cross in. Roger looking for the hat trick. Thought he'd gotten it past Snorlax, but nothing doing. Celtic outside of the 5 added minutes, looking to try and get at least a consolation goal here. Sends it in, headed up into the air. McTendy tries again into Miedema. Sent away, and that's gonna do it. Well, Tenochtitlan scored the first goal. Celtic equalized, but from there on, it was all Tenochtitlan, the team from Mexico City, victorious 4-1. Roger, your player of the match with 2 goals. Orla Hughes Galloway, the only consolation there for Celtic, getting on the score sheet. And Roger, as I said, your player of the match, 2 goals and an assist. Goals as well for Pinkman and De Silva. A complete performance by Tenochtitlan. And the real question is, have they been able to turn a corner? They've had inconsistent form all season. Will this be what brings it together for them? Next up, the league leaders in action. Shanghai Dragons going into today as the table leaders, ahead on goal difference. They will be very happy to have seen Celtic dropping points there to Tenochtitlan. Now they'll have to do a job against União Sao Paulo, their hosts for today's match. Certainly easier said than done. Nevertheless, it has been a bit of a mixed bag this season for Sao Paulo. As you see there, 2 wins from 5. Shanghai, meanwhile, on 3 consecutive wins. And now Celtic, after that loss, with a -1 goal difference. How important will that be going forward? And we are underway here in Brazil as Sao Paulo kicking off. Well, it goes all the way back to Aguilera. Kirkpatrick. Hits it forward to Cotswold, but loses out. We know how dangerous both these teams are. Sao Paulo, one of the most dynamic attacks in the SSL, and Shanghai certainly proving a lot of people wrong this season, as that header by de Groot held onto by the goalkeeper Takechi. Del Vecchio with the throw-in for Shanghai. Bunsen forward to Albinson. Hashimoto sending it clear. Bunsen able to mop it up. Shanghai going to have to rethink this attack. Johnson trying to let it run, but Cotswold too quick. Nelson through the middle, but ultimately sent back. Hashimoto. Albinson with some great recovery speed, though. Nelson into Aoi. Now Cotswold takes the shot. It looked like it was just curling in, but ultimately goes behind. Didn't have enough movement on it. Bunsen able to skip past Nelson. Albinson in trouble. Back to Del Vecchio. Now Johnson takes the shot and Aguilera holds on. Cotswold stands over the corner kick for Sao Paulo. Sends it right into the center of the area, and that's headed over by Nelson. Now it's Shanghai's turn for a corner. Once again headed out as Del Vecchio, trying to pass to Johnson, but Cotswold sending it clear. Shanghai once again having to regroup. Here's Bunsen. Albinson hits it to Voda. Voda in some space and forces the save out of Aguilera. Been a very cagey start to this match. Neither side with a real killer chance. But it's a corner kick here for Cotswold. Near post, headed away. LeGros gets to it. Now Cotswold back to Kirkpatrick. And what a save that was by Takechi. Another set piece for USP as Cotswold sends it near post, and that's headed over once again. And another set piece for USP, as they've been very much the dominant team in this match. It falls to Nelson, who shot it first time, but it's off the frame of the goal. And now the counterattack on for Shanghai, trying to through ball to Voda. But Hashimoto too quick and sends it back safely to Aguilera. Deep throw here late in the half. Already through most of one of the 2 minutes of added time. Here's Trick Johnson taking the shot, and it skids past Aguilera. And Trick Johnson opens the scoring right on halftime. União Sao Paulo 0, Shanghai Dragons 1. Voda did well to get into space, lay it off, and Johnson to Johnson. Trick Johnson taking that touch past Nelson, past Aoi, and a great finish into the bottom corner. And at the break, União Sao Paulo trailing by 1 goal to the visiting Shanghai Dragons, your league leaders going into today's matches. Well, if you looked purely at the XG, you'd say that Sao Paulo have had most of this match, but all it took was one moment of sheer brilliance, and Shanghai find themselves up 1-0. Will that last in the second half, or will Sao Paulo find a way to turn the tables? 45 minutes to tell as we get set for this second half. It's Shanghai kicking off left to right in the black and gold. Bunsen through the middle to Voda. Now Hohenhan turning, but losing out to Kirkpatrick. Voda with the free kick for Shanghai. Up into the air. Nearly in a danger area, but Kirkpatrick able to send it long. Voda now carrying it forward. Forced out wide. Back into Johnson. Bunsen takes the shot, and that is deflected behind for another corner. Near post corner, headed up. It falls to Albinson, and what a shot that was. Some serious velocity behind that. But Aguilera well to prevent that from going in. Another corner headed out by Hashimoto. Well, they're intercepting that free kick. Very well done from Del Vecchio, but that pass back, not great. Now here's Hashimoto, having won it back for Sao Paulo. Peixoto to Aoi. Cotswold with a great touch. DeGroot and Takechi just about tips it behind. Sao Paulo need to think of something fast to try and level this match. It's up in the air and head. Excuse me, Kirkpatrick sending that over. Albinson losing out to Peixoto, who hits it to Hashimoto. Now another break for Sao Paulo. Trying to get around Albinson. Hashimoto near post. Deflected back out. Aoi with another save for Takechi. Now it's Cotswold. And again Takechi with the save. What a sequence for Shingo Takechi. It's a corner kick here. Cotswold sending it in. And that's headed out. Some incredible saves there. I don't know how one of those didn't go in for Sao Paulo. We're going to try again. Here's Mulder. Hashimoto takes the shot. Aoi with a second chance. Deflected behind for a corner. Cotswold sends it near post. Up in the air. Head sends it back out. Another cross to Groot. And Takechi gets down to stop it. An absolute goalkeeping masterclass here at the moment. Del Vecchio loses out to Julian Rubio. Haven't called his name at all today. Aoi to Cotswold. Forward to DeGroot. Back to Aoi to Nelson, and that's over the bar. Well, Shanghai, credit to them, have done an incredible job keeping Sao Paulo out. Cotswold, though, near post. Headed back down. Cotswold again. Mulder's shot deflected behind. And Nelson was offside. Less than 15 to play. Less than 15 for Shanghai to hold on and weather the storm that is coming at them. Nelson finds Hashimoto. Turns around. Aoi. Cotswold loses out to Jim Mathias, but gets it right back. Roquefort Cotswold, Johnny on the spot to level the game for Sao Paulo. Well, I don't know if it was complacency or just plain cockiness, but Jim Mathias losing out here. Cotswold with an opportunistic run at the ball. Some incredible heads-up play. And that has leveled the score late on. Now Voda, as Shanghai come forward again, that shot blocked and sent away. DeSoto gets to it. Del Vecchio hits it forward to Albinson, across at the end line, and that's a corner. And pardon the cliche, but the Dragons seem to have awakened here. Johnson, the goal scorer, sending the near post. Peixoto sends it back, and that's going to be a throw-in. Less than 10 to play, and we are knotted up at 1-1. Shanghai had done so well to hang on with the lead for so long, but now Sao Paulo have leveled it. Is this how it will end, or will we find a last gasp winner? Here's Hashimoto. Forward to Mulder. Into the box. Mulder cuts it back. Rubio takes the shot, and that's deflected behind. Cotswold with a corner here for Sao Paulo. Sends it near post. That's headed in by Kirkpatrick, but it's pushed behind. Takechi again with a great save. Cotswold again sends it near post, this time rebuffed. DeGroot to Aoi. And sending it all the way back to Aguilera. Del Vecchio with a throw-in for Shanghai deep in their own half, but it's intercepted. Now Hashimoto to Nelson. Leaves it out for Cotswold, and another save by Takechi. Cotswold stands over the corner, sending it in, up in the air, and Voda heading it away. DeSoto sending it back to Takechi. Ball intercepted by Sao Paulo. DeGroot trying to get around Johnson. Cuts it back. Kirkpatrick back to DeGroot. Aoi blocked. Headed away. Voda can't get to it. Deep throw in for Sao Paulo. We are about halfway through our 3 minutes of added time. Peixoto finding Hashimoto. Hashimoto cross goes in. It falls to Ben Nelson. Will this stand? If it does, it's an incredible moment for Sao Paulo. VAR looking at it. And it's a goal. What a turnaround this has been for Sao Paulo. In stoppage time with the winner from Ben Nelson. Well, Shanghai had done so well, and Takechi had been absolutely unbeatable in goal until that moment. Sao Paulo had had the advantage in XG all match. Takechi with that save there off of the corner kick. They'd been the better team for basically the entire match, and now they have the points to prove it. They went into the half down 1-0, but Sao Paulo, in front of their home crowd, bring it back to win 2-1. Shingo Takechi, your player of the match, and again, give Takechi their flowers. An incredible performance in goal. The primary reason, in my opinion, that Shanghai were able to hold on for as long as they did. Some incredible goalkeeping, unfortunate on the day to lose, but certainly a performance that Shanghai and Takechi can both be proud of. Nevertheless, the 3 points do go to the team from Brazil, União Sao Paulo, 2-1, your final over Shanghai Dragons. What an exciting match that was, and we still have one more match to go as Hollywood FC take on Reykjavik United. Of course, the other implication of that match is that Shanghai also losing means that they remain level with Leafyside Celtic, missing an opportunity to widen their gap at the top. So now we go to Southern California, where Hollywood FC, with that offset 4-2-4, take on Reykjavik United with a similar formation. After winning their first 1 point from their last 4, and there you see Hollywood with a chance to move into the lead in the league, into the top of the table, with a win here today. Meanwhile, Reykjavik hoping to pull themselves closer to the rest of the pack and out of danger of relegation. Chambers standing over the free kick, finding Derbatov. Rashford to Neymarinho, and Quartista brought down in the box, but referee gives play on, and it's a corner kick for Reykjavik. Tentacles. Sends it near post. Neymarinho. Tentacles loses out, and that's sent away. Urkel finds Skavgard. Now Neymarinho. Sends it back in. Tentacles with the heavy touch. Urkel back to it. Tentacles. Crosses in and trying to find Neymarinho. Nothing doing. Martel takes a touch. Cuts it into Skavgard. Dobra sends it over the bar. Cormier hits it back. Now Hefeweizen. Calderon carrying it forward for Hollywood into the box. Across at the end line. And that's going to be ruled a goal. That crossed the line. Well, my goodness, that was a bizarre way to concede a goal. We'll have to see that again, but here's the replay. Calderon carrying the ball forward well into the box. Crossed it back. The shot from Kupinas just not quite where it needed to be, but Wall looks like carried it over the end line. My goodness, that is an unfortunate way to concede. And that header from, I believe that was Chambers, would have been an instant reply, but goes over the bar. Well, Hollywood will certainly not be complaining about being up 1-0, but Reykjavik perhaps unfortunate. Hefeweizen. Now Skavgard. Pantopens. Loses out to Quartista, and now the break could be on here. Trey Quartista for Reykjavik. Cuts it back. Urkel. Skavgard in a lot of space. Takes the touch pass to Calderon. And a great save by Walrusson. Now here's Tentacles. Sends it near post. Headed back. Now Neymarinho. Loses out to Kupinas. Dia hits it forward. Dobra heads on. Trying to find Martel. Nothing doing. Calderon trying again. Challenged by Derbatov, hits it back to Phantomans. Mograine loses out, Tentacles, and now another break for Reykjavik. Shaheen making the run. Trying to get around Cormier, tries to hit the pass. Rashford not quite where he expected. Shaheen tries again, and the save again from Walrusson. Some real end-to-end play here as Reykjavik trying to level things. Urkel, Skavgard. Trying to hit into Neymarinho. Finds its way back out to Tentacles. Gets it around Kupinas, but Mograine able to intercept. Quartista in hot pursuit intercepts that pass with incredible deftness as that move fizzles out. Hollywood throwing forward. Here's Martel. Derbatov can't get to it. Now Ali Dia skids it past Wall. And Ali Dia makes it 2 for Hollywood. Well, that was an excellent attack for Hollywood. Martel able to leave Derbatov behind. Cuts it back perfectly for Dia, who sends it up as a post. Wall just can't get there. Shaheen, nearly losing out, does now. Kupinas hits it forward to Marian Dobra. Chambers has it covered, but it's back to Kupinas, who takes the shot. And Juozas Kupinas making it 3-0 to Hollywood. Well, what more can you say? A great pass to Dobra. Kupinas in great space. And Hollywood cruising back to the top of the table at this rate. Reykjavik will feel a little hard done by that first goal, but some excellent play for the other two. As they come forward again, here's Calderon. Cuts it back. Dobra shoots it right at Wall. As we near the half, it is all Hollywood at the moment. Hefeweizen sending it all the way back to Walrusen. Long ball nearly falls to Kupinis, but instead it's Skovgaard for Reykjavik. Now Wall on it. Long ball of his own. The header battle nearly falls to Dia. Urkel. Quick pass to Derbatov. Rashford. Now Neymarinho. And what a shot and what a save that was from Walrusen. Tentacles near post. Headed away. And another corner late in the half for Reykjavik, trying to get one on the board. Ball hit up the line by Fantabins, but Skovgaard's going to be the first one to it. Kriskin, back to Wall. Ball intercepted by Dia, but Reykjavik still with possession. Urkel. Back to Wall again, who sends it long. Urkel loses out to Dia, but Dia then loses out to Shaheen. The other team really secure in possession in the midfield as Skovgaard coming forward. Neymarino taking a touch past Hefeweizen. It's out to Skovgaard, who sends it crossed to the far post, and Trey Quartista does get one back for Reykjavik. And that'll be a huge help, a huge boost to their mentality going into the break. It's a great cross from Skovgaard, and Quartista rising above Mograine to get that one into the net. And Reykjavik with that surge late in the half, having a lot of momentum on their side, but still down 3-1 to Hollywood FC. Hollywood benefiting from that own goal, that bizarre sequence of events that led to Wall, carrying the ball over his own end line. Certainly a stroke of luck there, but Reykjavik have had most of the XG, yet Hollywood still with a 2-goal lead. Reykjavik could really do with a couple more goals to try and level this scoreline. Remember, in danger of relegation, the last place team in the league at the end of the season automatically relegated, whereas fifth place, as that shot goes over the bar, as fifth place enters the relegation playoff with the second place team in Division 2. You have to think that even just avoiding that automatic relegation place is such a big deal. At least give yourself a chance to stay up. But Reykjavik currently on the outside looking in on that front. Martel trying to find Dia, and does. Back to Martel, now Fantabins. Calderon, Fantabins again. Skovgaard. Dia now through the middle. Mograine, near side. Gets it around Tentacles. Wall pushes it out and Chambers clears. Potential break here for Reykjavik. Here comes Quartista, but Dia with a good challenge, but Quartista able to track it down. Did enough, though, to stop the move. Skovgaard. Now Fantabins. Takes the ball and runs with it. Cross goes in, Wall able to pluck it out of the air. Still holding on to it, now sends it long. Skovgaard. As Hollywood come forward again, here's Calderon. Cross goes in and Martel couldn't get a foot to it. Another interception for Calderon, and Hollywood will have another chance. Martel over the top for Kupinas, and what a shot by Juozas Kupinas. Oh my goodness, I've got to see that again. Skovgaard to Martel, hits it over the top, and first time on the volley by Kupinas. What a shot. Wall just couldn't react fast enough. And that is a wonderful goal that makes it 4-1. Hollywood absolutely dominant right now on the score sheet. Shaheen takes the touch around Mograine. Ortista losing out, but Tentacle's there to mop it up. Neymarinho takes the shot, and it is a corner kick to Reykjavik. Just over 20 minutes to play. Reykjavik in a real hole, looking to at least tie, but have a lot of work to do. And that header going over the bar will not help. Urkel. Finding Skovgaard, and what a shot. Walrusson forced to save, and again by Skovgaard. Well, here's Neymarinho for another corner. Sends it near post, up in the air. And Walrusson able to bring that to ground. Time really against Reykjavik here. They need 3 goals, and they have less than 15 minutes to do it in. As the rain begins to pour here at the pitch. Ortista gets on the end of it, trying to round Walrusson, but Walrusson, making himself as big as possible, swats that behind for a corner kick. Just over 10 to play as Neymarinho sends this in, and that's up in the air, and Kupinas just about able to get it out of there. Neymarinho trying again, but will ultimately come to nothing. And as time winds down, Hollywood with a comfortable 4-1 lead, despite Reykjavik having the better of the XG, will end up losing this at this point. Here's Dia. Kupinas takes the touch, fires, and that's the hat trick for Juozas Kupinas. And that wraps up a wonderful finishing display by Hollywood. Out XG'd, but it didn't matter because they scored 5 to Reykjavik's 1. An excellent cross-field finish by Kupinas to complete the hat trick. And that is almost certainly going to be the final scoreline as that free kick headed away by Neymarinho. Calderon able to get to it, but Derbatov with the challenge. And that is it. Juozas Kupinas is the star of the show today. A hat trick leading Hollywood to a 5-1 win over Reykjavik United. Reykjavik leading by 0.5 XG approximately, but nevertheless comprehensively thrashed on the score sheet. Ali Dia also scoring for Hollywood, and of course that bizarre own goal in the first half, joining with Kupinas' hat trick. And as for Reykjavik, the only consolation, a goal from Trey Quartista, as Brickwall had a bit of a day to forget. And so that'll do it for the matches today. in Division 1. Before we go, let's take a quick look at the results and how they affected the table. As you saw earlier, Tenochtitlan with a 4-1 win over Celtic. União Sao Paulo eking out that last-minute stoppage time winner over Shanghai, 2-1 the final there. And we just saw Hollywood victorious, 5-1 over Reykjavik United. That result has seen them climb the table all the way up into first place, ahead of Shanghai and Leafyside. União Sao Paulo also returning to title contention, as did Tenochtitlan. Both teams still in contention for that title. But right now, once again, it is Hollywood that holds serve in Division 1 of the majors. We'll have to see if they can hold it the rest of the way. 4 matches to play for each team. Should be an exciting finish to this season. We hope you'll join us then. Until next time, this has been Metafiction. Take care.